Father God, yes, we just give all the glory to you. We celebrate you. We celebrate what you are doing. We don't celebrate us. We just celebrate the fact that you have chosen to use us for your work, Lord. We just give this morning to you and we love you. Amen. So you might have recognized Jason. He, as he said, serves here at the Murphy campus. And real quick though, so this is Vision Celebration. Welcome to Vision Celebration if you did not know that. But this is probably one of my favorite services of the year. So there might be some opportunities if you just feel led by the Lord just to clap. I'm not necessarily saying like what I'm saying, but if you just feel the need to clap through some videos, I know we missed a lot of opportunities, just go for it because this is the weekend where you're definitely going to get away with it and not like get talked about later. So let's practice. Yeah. Might be a couple opportunities. Brian, he said, hey, do you want to share? And I said, yes. And it gave me an opportunity maybe to embarrass some people, maybe Brian later on. So, right. Actually, no, I said, hey, Brian, I want to say this. And it was maybe something about him. He was like, nope. And I was like, you're not talking, so. All right. Okay. No. So tomorrow, my wonderful mom and my stepbrother Brian over here, they leave for Hawaii tomorrow, which is super cool. But the reason they are leaving for Hawaii tomorrow is to celebrate their 13th year of marriage, which also is tomorrow. There we go. Yes, we're clapping. 13 years. It's amazing that it's been that long, but it totally has. Something worth celebrating for sure. And life gives us lots and lots of reasons to celebrate. And for me personally, I think that's sometimes something that gets overlooked. I look at the things that life gives me to grieve or to complain about, referencing the Israelites and Exodus that we've been. Just all these things. Those are really easy to identify. The things where I would love to complain or the people I'd love to complain about. But life gives us so many things to celebrate. Many of you have already celebrated your 13th year of marriage, maybe many, many years ago. Maybe some of you are going to be doing that in a few years. My wife and I, Rachel, she's not here today. We got number 5 later in the summer in a few months. Just a lot of things to, okay, cool. Yeah, that one's good. Brian and Ashley, if I'm not mistaken, celebrated not too long ago. They celebrated birth not too long ago. Just a ton of things to celebrate. We celebrate birthdays, new jobs. Some of you guys celebrate jobs that you don't have anymore because they were just not fun. And even for some of us who definitely know that there is this eternal life that we get, even when we have to say goodbye to those that we love, it is a celebration of their life. It is just a great way to celebrate them. However, to celebrate, there must be something worth celebrating. If there is something that is not healthy or not good, it is not going to get celebrated, or it's going to be like a pseudo-celebration. If there is a marriage that is just not good, whether it's abuse or just years of unhealthiness, that might be a day that you might just let pass by, or you might say, hey, we're going to celebrate as a formality, but it's not going to be truly celebrated and appreciated as it should be. So today, as I've said before, we are here on Vision Celebration, one of my favorite services. It's not because there's less talking from me up here and more awesome videos, but it's because what those awesome videos are celebrating. They're celebrating lives changed, as we saw from Jason and Brandon. Hearts moved. My favorite one, I believe this is a video in a little bit, but baptisms. Baptisms get me. I love when I'm able to be at the downtown service and baptisms are happening because the first initial look on someone's face when they come out of the water cannot be matched. That is something worth celebrating. God's work thriving through the hands and feet of this church, of you guys, of everybody that's a part of River Valley and everyone that's a part of churches all throughout the valley here in Josephine County. So for a few minutes, I just want to highlight 3 of a cajillion, not a real number, but you can imagine if it was, 3 things worth celebrating. Number one is there's not necessarily notes for you. There is a blank spot that you can write down, and so do whatever you would like. But number one is that we are loved by an amazing God. I don't think I necessarily have to come up here on a stage and tell you that, but we are loved by an amazing God, and that is the number one thing to celebrate. We just watched two of hundreds of testimonies. That would be really cool if we just literally could get the testimony of every person in our church. You guys wouldn't have to hear a message from Brian or myself for like 3 years if we just showed that every day. Some of you are like, yeah! No? Okay. And that is God using ministries here at the church to change lives. This is lives changed ultimately by, yes, hands and feet of the church, but God's unfailing, undying love. There's this quote from Billy Graham that says, God proved his love on the cross. When Christ hung and bled and died, it was God telling the world, I love you. And I think of last week, what we just celebrated, where that was totally God saying, I love you, and putting his money where his mouth is. But man, how about on Easter Sunday when he rose from the dead and proved it? I think that's one of the, that maybe is one of these. You guys are like, come on. No. And I'm reminded of that day in and day out. That's one of those things where you're just reminded of God's unfailing love. His desire to love a sinner like me, someone like me, that he would actually choose to love me, his desire to save me, but ultimately his desire to actually use me for his work when I'm not busy getting in the way of what he's doing. But it just rocks me day in and day out that he continues to do that. Another big name in the Christian world, Rick Warren, has this quote that God's love is like the ocean. You can see the beginning, but not the end. And I think that's really cool, and that can be scary sometimes. Some of us, that we need to see the beginning, the end, and the middle, and the schematics behind it as to why something is happening. But for God's love, nope, you see it, you see its vast beauty, its awesome power, but you cannot see the end. And I think that is ultimately for our benefit, that we can't see that. So as God's love for us was the catalyst for his greatest sacrifice, and that was his son, may his love continue to motivate us to love each other. The one passage I want to focus on today, it's just one, but really powerful singular verse, and that's John 13:35. Some of you may know it by heart, but your love for one another will prove to the world that you are my disciples. And that's kind of the passage for the day. Your love for one another will prove to you, or will prove to the world, that you are my disciples. And that's the second point, is that we are loved by each other. We are loved by each other, and we get to love each other. And that is the proof. That is the proof that Jesus states in this verse. I was thinking about this, and I was comparing and contrasting the several actions that I exert throughout the day, just everything that I do on a daily basis, where I love others. That happens every now and then, and I love myself, right? I love myself. I am selfishly taking care of myself, my needs, my wants. I get mad at other people for not loving me like I want them to love me. I get mad at Rachel for not being able to read my mind and do the things that I'm saying or the things that I'm asking. I get mad at other people for, quite frankly, anything. If things aren't going my way, all these selfish thoughts. But then one of them is that loving other people. And, I get mad at people, slow drivers. It's not their fault, it's me, because generally if you're mad at slow drivers, you are exceeding the speed limit. But again, I get very me-focused, but I totally forget that idea of loving others. Those getting mad at slow drivers, zipping around somebody illegally to get to church, that's not proof that we are children of God. It is the loving other people, listening to other people, trying to understand where other people are coming from. And I will tell you, the reason I zip to church, Murphy, is because I love this church. I love you guys. If you're kind of new here, this is a rather new adventure for myself and Brian. Brian's been here a while, but he took the reins not too long ago, and I got the blessing to join him. And I love coming out here every Sunday. I'm not saying I didn't love going to church before. I did love going to church, and now I just love church more and more. I look forward to Sundays. I look forward to it because of you guys, because of the true love that is shown, the conversations, like the genuine care that is shown. I love that about Sunday mornings here, specifically at the Murphy campus. The faces that walk through the door, like it really looks like everyone else wants to be here. Like I'm looking forward to Sunday because I'm going to talk to X, Y, and Z, and I'm probably going to do it twice because we get that option here at the Murphy campus. And that is just awesome to see. Like love just being cultivated here is an amazing thing. Now, as I said, I'm going to embarrass somebody. And I don't know if it's this embarrassment. They just don't like attention because they're a very humble person, which I have trouble relating with sometimes. But so whenever there's like agreed success in one area, where if everyone's like, yeah, this is a great business or this is a great sports team, there is a general consensus that there is a reason why it is happening. And ultimately, there is success here in the church because of Jesus and because of his sacrifice. But there's a little saying where success starts at the top. And that is totally, if we can get our hands ready for Brian. And I truly believe that the love and the care and just the concern is cultivated because that is what is just radiating through Brian every single day. Like this isn't a duty that Brian has to do. This is something, this is a mission, this is a service that Brian like longs to do. This right here is Brian's passion. The people, everyone sitting in the chairs, myself, that is Brian's passion. The school that we serve in, Lincoln Savage, is something that Brian cares for. The Outback, which Joe serves day in and day out, that is Brian's passion. And yeah, let's do it again. I asked for it. Can't be too much clapping if you ask for it. And so that's where Brian's heart is 10,000%. And I just think that is so cool. And that is something worth celebrating because that is obviously something that is contagious as we continue to just serve with each other and serve each other. However, this isn't a but, it's just a however, one quick reminder that our work here is not completely done, which leads to our final point that we have the opportunity to show this love to our community. We have this opportunity to show the love to the people in our lives, and specifically the people here in Murphy. Right before Jesus drops verse 35, naturally 34 comes before it, and it says, "So now I am giving you a new commandment. Love each other just as I have loved you, you should love each other. Your love for one another will then prove to the world that you are my disciples." So he gives us this cause and effect, like love each other, okay? Love one another as I have loved you, like a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge, like remember how much I have loved you. Now take this to other people. And I'm reminded that a healthy tree provides healthy fruit. Okay, you've heard that before. A healthy tree provides healthy fruit. A dead tree does not provide fruit that I would like to eat, if anything at all. Healthy means that it is growing, okay, not fully grown. Healthy continues to grow, and healthy in our environment is going to reach our community. So his vision celebrates the year that was, and it celebrates, the year and the church that is. It also celebrates what looking forward looks like. As many of you know, I help out with the youth ministry, and we got back from Mexico not too long ago, and the pastor there, Pastor Edgar, shared with our students this really cool story, and you might have heard it before. It is said that in World War II, that German bombers they were dropping bombs, and one of their bombs destroyed this English cathedral. And as they were kind of repairing everything, they saw that there was a statue of Jesus, and its hands had gotten knocked off, and its hands had kind of gotten blown off. The rest of the statue was there, but the hands were off. So instead of replacing it, they just left this statue handless, replacing the artwork's "Come unto me" inscription with the inscription, "Christ has no hands but ours." Or other stories have said that we are the hands of Jesus. And so it was left there, and it was even more powerful than we could have imagined. So that's a reminder to me that we are the hands and feet of Jesus. Oftentimes I'm just like, nope, someone else will do it. Like Brian's hands and feet are a lot better than mine. But no, we collectively, as Murphy, as families that are here, as a church body, as believers, we are the hands and feet of Jesus. And I think that is very, very exciting. So and this is what I'm going to leave us with, what does that look like in our lives? Yes, as a corporate body, what does that look like? In your house, though, I think that's where it starts. In your house, in your family, what does that look like as we serve each other? And sometimes that can be the hardest one for me. Sometimes I want to leave the house so that I can go serve other people. But what does that look like in my house? In your workplace, which also can be hard. In your neighborhood, what does being the hands and feet of Jesus 24/7 look like? And finally, as the church body, in 2019, for the months of it that we have left, what does the Murphy campus look like as being the hands and feet of Jesus? Can't go through that without asking maybe a few tough questions for ourselves. What needs to be sacrificed? Like, what right now is getting in the way? And this isn't a question I want to answer for you. This is a question that is best answered by yourself, for yourself. But what needs to be sacrificed? What is not bad, but it's not good? Or what is bad, making it really not good? What needs to be given up? Okay, trimmed down a little bit. What just needs to be thrown to the side? Or what needs to be increased in our lives as we continue to be the hands and feet of Jesus? What change have we been avoiding? And I think, man, what change have I been avoiding that is preventing me from continually pouring in to our community? And then just this last question. My wife, Rachel, as I said, can't be here. She, as spouses sometimes do, asked this very convicting question. I actually forgot to ask her where she got it. I don't know if it came from her head or a book. But she's been asking this question, and it's, how do people experience you? How do you think people experience you? And that's not like, how do you want people to experience you, or how do you plan, or how do you demand people experience you? But what is someone's interaction with you? Like, what is their takeaway after every interaction with you? So just somewhere in your notes, like, how do people experience me? And just be aware of that question as we continue to look forward, because I think it could be a very helpful question. And honestly, I ask myself that question. I don't know if I'm always going to love the answers that I get, but I am going to love the fruit that that question and that awareness will provide. So, as I said, I'm getting ready to pray. We're looking at the year that was, and we're getting ready to look at the year that is. So please just bow your heads with me.